In the quiet town of Whitehall, with its cobblestone streets, quaint houses, and the towering, mysterious Echo Library, harbored secrets and stories of its own. But beyond the enigmatic library, a darker tale unraveled. One of scandal, power, and an unspeakable horror. The story of the Whitehall Manor. Once a grand mansion, the Whitehall Manor was now a haunting relic on the outskirts of the town. The manor was owned by the influential Lockwood family, pillars of the community, whose sudden and unexplained departure from Whitehall had left the town shrouded in a cloud of mystery. The Lockwood family was no ordinary family. They were known as philanthropists, their wealth an enigma in the quiet town of Whitehall. Mr. Lockwood, a suave businessman, was as charismatic as he was elusive. His wife, a stunningly beautiful woman, was always seen but seldom heard. The two Lockwood children, a boy and a girl, were known for their peculiar, reserved demeanor. Rumors began to swirl when the once sociable Mr. Lockwood became a recluse. The children stopped attending school, and Mrs. Lockwood was seldom seen. Hushed whispers spoke of eerie lights in the manor at odd hours and peculiar symbols seen around the property. Occasional visitors spoke of an oppressive atmosphere that hung heavily within the manor's walls. One particularly juicy rumor that caught the town's attention was the sudden and unexplained disappearance of people close to the Lockwoods. Their loyal gardener, Thomas, vanished one day without a trace, and soon after, Mrs. Lockwood's dear friend, a woman known for her spiritual interests, also disappeared. Some whispered of the Lockwoods' involvement, but no proof ever surfaced. Mr. Lockwood was a man with an insatiable thirst for knowledge and power. The family's ancient lineage and ancestral ties to the occult were well known in the inner circles. It was said that the Lockwoods descended from a long line of powerful sorcerers. However, Mr. Lockwood's interest in the occult was more than just familial curiosity. It was an obsession. His business empire was facing ruin due to a series of failed ventures. The stress was beginning to show in the cracks of their once picture-perfect family. The sudden abandonment of the manor and the family's hasty departure only fueled the speculation. The whispers grew louder, the stories wilder, painting a tantalizing picture of scandal and mystery that beckoned me to uncover the truth. What was the price Mr. Lockwood paid for his power? What was it that forced them to abandon their ancestral home? The enigma of Whitehall Manor and the Lockwood family waited to be unraveled. I, as an anthropologist, who was beginning to feel like an occult detective, decided to uncover the truth. Armed with a voice recorder and my undying curiosity, I embarked on my exploration of the manor. Stepping into the manor was like stepping into a time capsule. Dust-covered portraits, antique furniture, and the air, heavy with a silence that was almost unnatural. The deeper I ventured, the more the house seemed to close in around me, every creaking floorboard echoing through the eerie silence. Rumors have said that Mr. Lockwood was involved in illicit activities, possibly leading to the family's hasty exit, and I was sure to get to the bottom of it. As I navigated the labyrinthine corridors, I stumbled upon a locked door at the end of a forgotten hallway. The key, left clumsily under the mat, gave away the room's importance. Inside, I discovered an array of peculiar items, masks, robes, ancient-looking artifacts, and in the center, a grand book that lay open on a pedestal. It seemed to pulsate with a dark energy, its pages filled with symbols and languages that appeared like those in the Chronicle of Shadows I once deciphered. An intense sense of déjà vu washed over me as I realized I was standing in a room designed for occult rituals. As I delved deeper into the mystery, it became evident that Mr. Lockwood had been involved in something far more sinister than mere illicit activities. The artifacts, symbols, and the oppressive energy in the ritual room suggested that the Lockwood family was involved in some form of dark magic or cult. The weight of my discovery pressed me to want to leave the room. However, knowing that this book existed, I knew I must find out more. Unfortunately, the strain of being around the arcane pages would continue to bring flashbacks of a world left to ruin. Really, what was it that Mr. Lockwood thought he could do by using such a power? I needed to find out what his purpose was and why the Lockwoods would leave such a dangerous tome behind. As I was scrutinizing the ritual room, I stumbled upon a concealed drawer in the pedestal. Inside, I found a voice recorder, labeled Final Session D. Lockwood. Pressing play, the smooth voice of Mr. Lockwood echoed in the silence, chilling my bones.
It's too late. We've lost control. The entity, it's free. We're leaving Whitehall. If anyone finds this, don't. I repeat, don't. Oh, God! It's here! It's...
The recording abruptly ended with a guttural roar that made my blood run cold. I realized then the grave reality of the Lockwood family's departure. They hadn't simply left. They were fleeing from something they had summoned, something they referred to as the entity. The scandal of the Lockwood family ran deeper than any illicit activities. It was a chilling tale of power, ambition, and a foray into the occult that had gone terribly wrong. The abandoned Whitehall Manor was not just a silent witness to this scandal. It was the cradle of an unspeakable horror unleashed by the Lockwoods. Now, as I delve deeper into this scandalous mystery, I can't help but feel watched. There are whispers in the silence of the manor, shadows that move in the corner of my eyes, an unshakable sense of an unseen presence. The entity that the Lockwoods spoke of, I fear, still lurks within these walls.